I just said Rethink, they speak sign language. Today I'm going to tell you my own story and actually how I ended up working with the deaf and what I'm trying to do. And also, that's kind of a process, and still I'm in it, where I learn how to rethink. So here is how it starts. It starts with a question. So when I say deaf, what do you imagine? What comes up to your mind? Most of the people, when I ask this, they say deaf, they cannot hear. Yeah, that's part of the reality. Or they cannot speak. Yes, that's part of the reality as well. But what else? Why don't we say they speak sign language? Why it's not the first thing that comes up to our minds? Why we make the sentence from the negative perspective? Why we are the objects and we say, as deaf, they're being the objects here, they cannot hear. So I'm trying to change this discourse. I'm looking for a way. If you ask me if I invented something, or no, that's not the case. So that's how my journey started. So first of all, let's make something clear. I don't have any deaf relatives, so that's not why I went into this, and I'm still in it. Actually, the first deaf person I met in my life is Destiny. And Destiny is from the States. I met her during this program called Semester at Sea. Semester at Sea is a program, it's like an exchange program where you spend your whole semester on a ship. And you get courses and you do some field work when you visit the countries. Anyways, but during that trip, I didn't get a chance to talk to her in deep about deafness and how she feels about being deaf. But then, after my graduation from University of Virginia, I came back to Turkey. And one day, during the summer of 2013, I received a message from Destiny saying that she's in Istanbul and she would like to meet me for coffee. And I said, why not? Because at the time, I was looking for jobs. I didn't know what to do. So basically, I said yes to everything during that time. So we went for coffee. And if you ask me how we did communicate, she's very good at reading lips because she lost her ability to hear when she was 15. And also, she's good enough to tell me that I have a little accent when I talk in English. So she's that good. Anyway, so we had this chat, and I learned more about deafness. I learned about sign languages. And I say sign languages because it's not universal. Maybe some of you know. But in Turkey, we speak Turkish Sign Language. And what I did actually at the beginning of my speech is a Turkish Sign Language. But each and every country, they speak different sign languages. So that's a fact. Go ahead and look at it. So I learned about deafness, and then she told me that I would like to introduce you to this deaf Turkish couple. Would you like to meet them? And I said, why not? Because I'm a very curious person. Yes, I'll meet them. Then Destiny left, and I had their phone number, and we started exchanging exchange messages, and we decided to meet. But I didn't know how to communicate, you know? Yes, they are Turkish. So I told, okay, I went into store, I got a notebook, and I said, okay, I'll write everything in Turkish, what I want to say, what I want to ask about deafness and being deaf in Turkey, and they will write me back. That's, I believe that's what most of you would do at the time. So I went there, and actually it worked. But later, I would find out that actually in Turkey, 37% of the deaf population don't know how to read and write. So I was lucky that day that I did communicate with them. But actually, it was just my luck. So sometimes when we think that we can communicate that way, because I thought that I would be able to communicate in Turkish, but that cannot be the case for every deaf encounter that you can have in Turkey. So that's the deaf story. But it's not like a revelation that one day I woke up and I said, I'm going to work with the deaf. No, it doesn't happen that way. So that's my deaf story. And look at my other story, which I will begin. That's the most exciting part, actually. So go back a little. I graduated from University of Virginia, came back, had lots of dreams. I had a list of dreams, But at the top, I had being a journalist, and I'm going to do that in Turkey. Okay, that's good. So when I came back, it was the middle of Gezi Park protests. Probably you all remember. The world knows about it. I'm not going to go political there, but when you look at the media during that time, it was just so polarized that I couldn't find the right place to work. I was just questioning, should I apply to this or should I apply to this work? Where should I work? If I go there, they're going to tell me, you're from that side. And if I go there, I'm going to be on the other side. I just want to be a journalist, and I want to be objective. So I was questioning that. But somehow, I need to start somewhere, because I had my education, I got my double major in media studies and history, so I needed to use it. So I started working at this channel. They were trying to launch the channel at the time, so it was kind of a startup. And it became a 4-month journey and life-changing experience. And the moment that I remember from that 4-month journey is the night of December 27, 2013. Because it was the first, and later the last time, I went live for 8 or 9 times a day on a channel I believe no one watches, but still, it's something. So they sent me to Taksim Square to follow the expected protests on government corruption. So I went there, and that was something I really wanted. That was something that I really dreamed of. So I went there. During the day, it was calm. It was okay. And then what happened towards the evening, protesters start to gather. That's okay. That's expected. And then police did the same. Yeah, that was expected as well. So nothing was wrong. So the protesters want to go from Taksim Square. They want to go towards Uskudar Avenue. And then the other moment that I remember just stands out in my mind. So I remember this moment. The chaos started. And I lost the cameraman. I had the microphone with no name. And I'm in the middle of the protesters, facing the cops, and they were holding their plastic bullet guns towards us. And somehow, at that moment, I heard, because I lied to my mom that day. I told her I'm at the studio. So I said, are you trying to kill me? You shouldn't be there. You told me you're in the studio, blah, blah, blah. That's the voice in my mind. And then, the real voice. There was this 15-year-old boy right next to me, and he was getting ready to throw Molotov cocktails. And then he turned at me and said, Abla, you should get one too, and get ready. For what? I looked at the microphone, I looked at him, and I said, there's something wrong with this. And then I tried to explain, it's not okay to throw a Molotov cocktail to the cops, because then you will legitimize the plastic bullets that they will shoot. But that was very sophisticated. That was very unnecessary explanation. Then the next scene was plastic bullets, of course. So that made me actually rethought about my life and rethought about my choice. Because I was thinking, why did I choose journalism? I chose journalism because I believe there are different realities in life. And with those realities, people are not aware of those realities. Some of us, I don't know some of your realities. So as a journalist, what I need to do is to be the medium in the middle. So I'll get this reality, and it will reach you, and somehow I hope that those two will understand each other. But how am I going to do that with a one-way medium, which is TV? Because I couldn't even communicate with the 15-year-old who was standing next to me. It doesn't make any sense. So I questioned my decision about being a journalist. And I decided that I want to solve this miscommunication problem within the society before it gets very concrete at the moment where plastic bullets face the Molotov cocktail. I want to see myself, before that, I want to see myself on solution part. So I chose the third sector and third way of thinking. And I'm very glad that I did that, but I'm not sure about my family. So this is the moment where my dev story comes together with my journalism journey and with my decision. So I quit the job, of course. I quit the dream of my years, probably. Then, with a group of friends who believed in my cause, we founded this NGO, and we called ourselves social entrepreneurs. Okay, that's a new term. Turkey is getting used to it, I think. And what we are trying to do is make people rethink. Make people communicate with the traditionally defined other, and then rethink about their preassumptions and prejudices. Then maybe we can solve this miscommunication problem that exists in the heart of our society or societies. So that's how it started. And so I cannot solve all the miscommunication problems. Probably I have a miscommunication problem with all of you here at some point on some team, but still we need to start somewhere, and we're a small group. So we start with the deaf. And it's not because I met this Turkish deaf couple. It doesn't make any sense. I have deaf friends, that's why I'm working with the deaf. No. Why I'm working with the deaf is they have a language. So the miscommunication problem between hearing, so myself and you, it's very concrete when it comes to the deaf. So it's going to be, it's going to be easier for me to explain the miscommunication problem through deafness. So Turkish Sign Language, Turkish, and they're pretty different. Their grammars are different. And Turkish Sign Language, it has dialects in it. So it's diverse. It's a culture, it's another language, as English, as French, or whatever. So and there's another reason. It was the right time to start. Because there's some good stuff happening about Turkish Sign Language in Turkey. So for example, what happens is Ministry of Education. Through Ministry of Education, you can get certified Turkish Sign Language courses. That's new. What else? At the end of 2015, we had a grammar book. We have a dictionary of Turkish Sign Language. That's good, and that's pretty new. But the most important, most prominent thing is that in 2005, Turkish Sign Language is officially accepted in this country. So we know that it has a legal base. So it's easy. It's an easy way. So let's choose this. So, but what's the problem with the deaf? And by the way, this guy is deaf, and this guy is from Vienna, and they can communicate. So we should think about it. 3 languages can work together. What we are thinking about the deaf is we need a third way of thinking. From they cannot hear understanding, we need to go, they use sign language, they speak sign language. Then maybe when we change the discourse, the negative discourse nurtures the pity that we feel for the deaf. We don't need to feel that feeling for them. They don't need it. They don't want it. So what we need in order to get rid of this pity, get rid of this negative discourse, and we need another encounter with the deaf through sign language. So here is something that we organized. It's a video. Let's see. That's the movement we tried to start. We organized it 4 times, and hopefully we will organize it all over Turkey someday within years. So let's watch the video, and I will talk about the movement afterwards. So that was actually the fourth one that we organized before Valentine's Day this year. So what we are trying to achieve with Sign Your Love, I know it looks very simple, and it's simple. But what's important about it is that it's a planned encounter with the deaf, and it's an alternative way, and it's a positive way. So it's kind of serves for the purpose why we're doing this. So that's why we're doing Sign Your Love. And also, all the legal stuff that government does, I don't care if the real impact is not in the society. If the real impact, if we cannot see the social inclusion within the society itself, I don't care if this sign language is official, if no one knows about it. If I cannot accept deaf within our society, it doesn't make any sense. So that's why we're doing this. So we're on the other side. So I told a story about deafness. I told a story about miscommunication. And I told you that being deaf is about miscommunication. So I'm not talking about being deaf. I'm talking about miscommunication. And I want you to rethink about all the unpleasant encounters you have in your lives. Rethink, revisit those, and please try to see if there is another way, if there is a third way to solve those miscommunication problems. And I will leave you with a story of Amy. Maybe some of you know about her. So it was 1993. She was a white American girl, Stanford University graduate, working and getting education as well in South Africa, Cape Town, and working for the anti-apartheid movement. So she was a real activist at the time. And actually, in 1994, the country was getting ready for the all-race election, first time in the history. So what she was doing there was pretty important. So one day after work, she told three of her friends and black friends, they lived in this black township called Guguletu, outskirts of Cape Town. And I actually heard about the story when I got there. So she drew them back home, but black males, black guys, stopped the car, beaten and stoned her to death. So she died that day because of hate. And 4 guys, they got jailed, but after 4 years, they're released under Reconciliation Act. And Amy's parents, they communicated with the killers of their daughter. They empathized. And actually, they forgave them. And right now, those guys work for Amy Foundation. So rethink. Do you believe, can we solve the miscommunication problem? Thank you.